As regards the case against an individual that has been filed in a US court, allegedly linking him to an Indian official, this is a matter of concern. We have said, and let me reiterate, that this is also contrary to government policy. The nexus between organized crime, trafficking, gun running, and extremists at an international level is a serious issue for law enforcement agencies and organizations to consider. And it is precisely for that reason that a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted, and we will obviously be guided by its results.
As US Department of Justice unveils name of Indian national Nikhil Gupta in apparently a case of involvement in a conspiracy to kill Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, a leader of Seek for Justice, a banned organization in India, there are multiple aspects of this entire series of reports which has kind of been in the center of India-US relationship. We already know that because of alleged allegations coming from Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, there is a downward trend in India-Canada bilateral relationship, which has seen an expulsion of about 40 Canadian diplomats from India, where India also alleged them that they were involved in the internal affairs of Indian government. And that happened in the wake of Canadian Prime Minister's allegations that some Indian agencies were involved in killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, another Canadian citizen who was also a terrorist in the eyes of Indian agency, and who was anti-India, pro-Khalistani, and he was openly calling for secession of India. Gurpatwant Singh Pannun is another person. He has Seek for Justice organization. He has several cases pending in Indian courts, and there is a demand of him by the Indian agencies. There is no extradition request so far that has been made to the US government. At least that is what we have been told. There is no clarity on that. But we do know that India has raised the concern against such elements in the past who have regularly been targeting Indian sentiment, Indian communities, Indian government, and who have been posing a national security challenge and threat for the Indian government. There is a report that Indian government and USA they have collaborated on several aspects of national security threats, and there was recently a meeting that was held between the two sides, where the two sides also discussed and shared intelligence input with each other. But how these inputs are going to help in establishing the fact that Indian government was apparently involved in this conspiracy, that is still not clear, because the US indictment says that Nikhil Gupta, who is an Indian national and who is apparently involved in a lot of narcotic trafficking and weapons trafficking, was also being handled by another Indian government employee in USA. The name has not been revealed. It has been said that CC1. This is the references that he has been given. And he was handling, mostly he was handing over money, he was guiding him how to go about it. And in that entire indictment, the long indictment, there is some references where it is also tried to have been established by the agencies that apparently Nikhil Gupta and his associate were linked to somehow in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. At least they were very happy around that time, and probably that was one of the reasons why now Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has once again highlighted the fact that there is a need to go to the bottom of this case and is a serious concern. So once again, a Canadian Prime Minister has gotten emboldened by the latest series of US indictment process that has revealed name of Indian national and has clearly put the blame on Indian government or Indian government, one of the Indian government employee who was handling the entire operation to apparently kill Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. This has been US side's story. So far, Indian government has said that it's contrary to their policy. There is nothing that would establish that Indian government was greatly or directly involved in this entire conspiracy. And if someone has tried to do something on his behalf, that is not representing the government, and this is contrary to the government policy, and this is something that being looked into how this entire operation has happened. India and USA, they are well in contact with each other. The only thing that remains from here to be seen that how this entire story of a person who is wanted by Indian agencies, who is wanted in Indian court, but who is still a US citizen, who is regularly posing a national security threat to Indian government, and a conspiracy to kill him, how it is going to impact the US-India bilateral relationship. We know that few weeks from now, apparently, there is expectation that Quad summit could happen in Delhi, and that could happen somewhere around last week of January. All the leaders of Quad countries, Japanese Prime Minister, Australian Prime Minister, and US President Joe Biden is also expected to arrive to attend the Quad meeting. The dates are not yet finalized, but we have been told that it will happen somewhere in the last weeks of January. So that is a tentative schedule, and in the wake of the entire conspiracy saga that has unfolded in the bilateral relationship, what kind of impact it will have, how it will affect the India-USA bilateral relationship. We have already seen something of the similar nature impacting India-Canada bilateral relationship in a very adverse manner. But one can only assume that India-US relationship has been mature enough, and they are so closely linked in multiple ways that such issues will be dealt with more trust and confidence with the two sides in the coming days.